America great again.
What kind of a country do we want to have?
The truth of my life disproves their lie.
I think climate change is real.
We need to be able to have that policy debate.
Republican presidential hopefuls will assemble for the first presidential primary debate of the 2024 election season, just days before the second anniversary of the chaotic and tragic U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan, as the GOP tries to maintain the United States' status as a global superpower.
And if countries want to take from the United States, they must pay for the privilege of taking.
Donald Trump has proposed to revoke China's most favored nation trade status and impose universal baseline tariffs on most imports, even though he also pledges to build on the NAFTA free trade update his administration negotiated with Mexico and Canada. He promises to end the war in Ukraine in one day.
I would tell Zelensky, no more. You got to make a deal. I would tell Putin, if you don't make a deal, we're going to give them a lot. We're going to give them more than they ever got if we have to.
As president, I would prioritize the threats to our national security. The top threat to this country is China. It's China's ambitions, it's China's industrial capacity, it's the CCP's ability to pollute our culture, impact our universities. Incidentally, in Florida, we got rid of the Confucius Institutes that they put in universities. We cracked down on them being able to do research dollars to our universities, and we banned any purchase of land by the CCP in the state of Florida.
Governor Ron DeSantis has taken a strong stance against China, signing multiple bills to counteract the Chinese Communist Party influence in the state of Florida. DeSantis has struggled to navigate Ukraine-related political pressures.
I wish the D.C. elites cared as much about our border as they do about the Ukraine-Russia border. We cannot have American troops in Ukraine. That is a total non-starter.
I think one of the failures of President Biden has been his inability to articulate America's national vital interest in the conflict or the genocide in Ukraine. America's national vital interest is degrading the Russian military. When we degrade the Russian military, we make sure that our home front is safer and that our NATO ally partners that would cause us to send soldiers over is safe.
Senator Tim Scott believes Biden has undermined the effectiveness of U.S. aid in Ukraine by waiting too long to provide too little. However, he does not want to send in American soldiers.
We should never allow American soldiers to be engulfed into the challenge between Ukraine and Russia. Our boots on the ground should not be there.
He describes China as the biggest threat to America's security and deems fentanyl crisis an especially heinous form of that hostility.
Their goal is not just to surpass us. Their goal is to beat us. It's about China buying American farmland, infiltrating our airspace, and tracking our kids. It's about President Xi siding with Putin and Iran. America can win this competition, but Joe Biden cannot.
Communist China is the greatest threat to American security and prosperity by far.
Nikki Haley serves as Trump's United Nations ambassador. She argues a Russia defeat would be an enormous loss for China and a true victory for peace. Her campaign intends to undermine Trump's credibility as a China hawk by arguing he had a myopic focus on trade issues.
Trump did too little about the rest of the Chinese threat. He did not put us on a stronger military foothold in Asia. He did not stop the flow of American technology and investment into the Chinese military. He did not effectively rally our allies against the Chinese threat. Even the trade deal he signed came up short when China predictably failed to live up to its commitments.
The Russia-China alliance is the single greatest threat that the U.S. actually faces today.
Vivek Ramaswamy maintains the war in Ukraine jeopardizes necessary efforts to prioritize China.
We are pushing Russia closer into China's arms by actually continuing to arm Ukraine.
He would cut off aid to Ukraine, then force Zelensky and Putin to make major concessions.
Yes, that means giving part of the Donbas region to Russia. I would make a hard commitment that NATO never admits Ukraine to NATO. Putin, in that case, would have to exit his military partnership with China and remove nuclear weapons from Kaliningrad, which border Poland, and get the Russian military out of Cuba and Venezuela and the West.